Hi, it's Gadget UK here again. It's been a few weeks since my last video. I have got quite a few videos to edit and stuff, you know, that I've filmed since sort of January time. There's probably at least 6 or 7 videos I've just not been able to motivate myself to edit. So I'll get around to that at some point soon probably. So they're not particularly exciting ones, but just things I've done, you know, like de-yellowing the SNES and things like that. A bit boring really, but they're just things I've done. I'll get them out. I don't know how long I'm going to continue doing these videos. I'm sort of losing the will to love doing them, to be honest. It's one of those, they take so much time to edit and stuff, and there's very few comments and things generally, you know. It's one of those, it's nice to contribute to the community, but eventually it just starts to become a chore. You start to think, what's the point? Which I can understand why some people stop doing them ultimately. You get burnt out, I guess, and there's a bit of that to a degree. But ultimately, you know, I'm not going to just keep buying more and more and more things. You know, I haven't got time, stuff, and the energy with my health the way it is and stuff. It's been very, very, very difficult actually the last few weeks. Today, for example, I just felt like a zombie the whole day. It's been very, very difficult to motivate myself to do anything today. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, Commodore C64C here. This is the one I fixed with the clamping diodes on the tape and disc ports there, and you can see it's pretty faded, it's yellow, it's scratched up and stuff. I have cleaned this, but it's got some, I'm not sure where you're going to see them, you know, some like marks like that just will not come off, and it is yellowed. It's got like a nasty tinge of yellow to it and lots of dirty marks. They just will not come off with either plastic cleaner or isopropyl. It's pretty battered, but the keys are good on this one. So and what this video is actually about, if I slide this box over and show you, nearly not the camera, my new cases have arrived from Dallas Moore. So this was the Kickstarter that I talked about recently. If I just set the camera up here, I'll just get this out and you can have a look. Take this plastic off, take that out. It's sweet, it really is. I've done such a good job of these. Yeah, so I mean, if you have a look at the quality of the plastic, the finish there, you know, there's no bumps or ridges and things. It's very good, it's very smooth, flat, evenly transparent all the way around. I'm very impressed actually. And what's even more a miracle really is that both of them came in this one box. As you can see, I've got a blue one here as well, just with a bit of packing. You know, it's come all the way from the States. You know, I was half expecting to be something to be smashed, if not both to be smashed when I got it out, but that's not the case. If I just sort of try and prise these apart, and I'm not an expert getting inside these actually. I don't think I've ever worked out the ideal, there you go, the ideal way to get in these. You've got to sort of lift the front a little bit and then push upwards like that, you know, to push away from the back in order to unhinge it. But yeah, if you look at the quality of the fittings and things here, you know, it's really good. They've done a fantastic job. I am really impressed. It looks just like the original, which, well, it's gonna do, isn't it? It was based on exactly the same mould, but you know, there's no offshoots and things. They've done a really good job. They must have done some work, I would think, when they've took it out of the mould to smooth it, you know, smooth any sort of sharp edges and things down. They've done a very good job, because I can't see any sort of, let's say, offshoots and things anywhere, or any marks. It's fantastic. So I guess what some people are going to do with these is perhaps take the serial number off the original one, you know, heat it with a hot air or something, hairdryer or hot air gun. Yeah, swap your serial number and stuff over as well. You know, it's got all the original markings, which I guess you're going to expect again because of the original mould. It's going to be identical. You know, it's got all the marks all the way around there, as you can see. Sorry, it's not focusing very well there, probably a bit too close, and it is clear, which probably isn't helping. Yeah, control port 1, control port 2, on off, power. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. So the other thing you get with these is this little bag with a couple of different labels. So I guess it's a case of personal choice here, which one you want. I quite like the bottom one actually, because of the you know, the coloured stripes there that go with the original Commodore design. I kind of, in some ways, I kind of wish that it didn't have this limited. I wish they'd given you another one of these that didn't have the limited edition thing with a number written on it there. It just looks a bit, what's the word? not as good as it could be. I don't want to say cheesy or unprofessional, because he's done a really good job of these, but had that been printed on there, or just said limited edition, you know, of 5,000 without the number, I just feel it would look a bit better. I mean, does anyone really care which number they've got? You know, I don't know. The fact that it's 1 out of 5,000, I guess that's all that's important, unless you've got number 1, you know, or some other, you know, number 100 or 500 or something, you know, a sort of memorable number that people might be interested in. You know, it's kind of pointless. What I might be able to do is, because he's used a permanent marker there, is just use a bit of isoprop and just wipe that off. I might have a go at doing that, because I like the label, I just don't like the handwritten number on there, if I'm completely honest. But that's just me. That's just me being a bit of a perfectionist anorak. I kind of like things to look a bit manufactured, rather than, you know, it's personal touch like that. Someone's writing on it, unless it's obviously someone signed it. You know, someone, you know, creator or something signed a piece of casing or something. That would be good. But you also get these screws. You get the 3 screws here that you need to secure it at the front, so that's quite good. Quite small heads, they're not quite the same size screws as on the original C64C, I don't think, but they're not bad anyway. And you get a couple of rubber feet, which is a bit strange. I thought these had 4 feet. Maybe it's just you put the feet at the front, I think. I'm not sure, because you've got 4 marks here. Yeah, they must just go at the front, because the front's quite big, you know, they're quite recessed there, so they're going to go in there, I think. Although they look like they might, no, they're probably a bit too big to fit in the back. So that's that. I'll just put that out of the way. You've seen that one now. We'll just have a look at the blue one. So here's the blue one. There's a bit of plastic there, just an offshoot or something that's just come out of that. Nothing's broken off it. I've had a good look at this one as well. And this one, I kind of prefer to the clear one, if I'm honest. It's a gorgeous blue colour. But you know, if you look at the finish, you know, there's a little mark there, a little blip. But there's barely a mark anywhere on this. It's come all the way from the US, and there's a few marks there actually. I don't know whether it's just dirt or, you know, from when they've assembled it, or, you know, manufactured it. I'm not sure. So I'll just see if I can get the back off this one. Let's try the same thing. Just lift it and push it back a little bit. There we go. So yeah, again, nicely finished off on the inside and stuff. No sort of edges overhanging or anything like that. But that looks really cool. I'm really pleased with that. I just hope this mark here comes off. I'm going to give that a wipe in a minute with a bit of soap and water. I wouldn't use anything like isoprop on one of these, because it may well cause problems with the plastic. Yeah, so same thing again. A little bag here with the 3 screws, rubber feet, and the labels. I can't quite like these labels actually, because these are different. If you compare these to the clear one, the clear one's sort of, you know, grey greens and things to choose from, whereas this one, I think this was the one with the range where they had a white case, a blue case and a red case. So you've got either, you know, you can pick either one of those colours. The white might go quite nice with that, but again the blue would as well. I mean, even the red would look good with this one actually. So the other thing I'm waiting on here are the keys, you know, from the other campaign. It wasn't a Kickstarter one, it was Indiegogo. So when I get the keys, I've obviously yet to pick the colours and things for that. I don't think we've been asked what colours and things we want yet. That should happen soon, hopefully. I'll probably get a blue set, maybe a different shade of blue, maybe a dark blue or a light blue to go with this. A clear set to go with the clear case. And incidentally, I think what we're going to do with the clear one is I've got a bread bin 64 that I showed in a previous video. It was actually a repair where the case had been melted, like with a paint stripper or something. So I've kept that as a spare. But the case is just beyond, you know, you could sand it down, I guess, and respray it. But that was my intention with this right from the day one. I thought I'll get a clear case, I'll stick the bread bin board in there. I might have to do something with some sort of keyboard brackets, because it's a bread bin. It's not going to have the metal brackets that sit down here that hold the keyboard up. So that could be an interesting one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that to get around that. But with this one, this is just going to be a straight swap for my recent C64C pickup here. I think it's actually an E, this, because it's one of these ones where the keys haven't faded. They haven't really compared to some of the other C64s I've seen. They're very white, and just some of the stuff, the internals of it, I don't think there's an SRAM or something. So I think this is an E, a C64E. So I'll use that with this blue one, which I'm going to do in a minute. Just leave the white keys in there for the moment, but I'll keep the case. I'm not going to do anything, not going to bin it or anything like that. I'll just put it in that box and store it away, because it'd be nice to put the original case back on there perhaps one day if someone wanted to buy it, want to sell it or something. But yeah, so I'm just going to have one case in storage, and then the other one's, like I say, is going to be a nice replacement for my bread bin. What I was thinking of doing actually with that other case, the one that's melted a little bit, is I'm going to send it to, or ask, well, I'll contact him first, but I was going to send it to the guy who does the SD to IECs, because he's got a particular model there he makes out of the plastic from recycled C64 cases. And the case is actually alright, it's just melted. There's no, I can't imagine there would be any chemicals or anything in there that wouldn't be suitable for, reusing. If you just grind, put it in this little grinder there and grind it all down to little pellets or something. So I'll do that, and then it'll get reused, and you never know, maybe I can get a discount on a one of the little SD to IEC things from him that's made of that case. That would be cool if we could do that. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll let you know. Anyway, I'll just stick this in here now and give you a quick look at how it looks with the white keys, and then we'll call it a day, I think. So here we go, after getting the board in there, it's looking pretty sweet. Yeah, LED lined up really nicely. One thing I would say is the little plastic notch that was under there, you want to get a craft knife or something onto it very, very carefully, just so that when you stick the label on, it's totally flat and uniform, And you can see, actually, the serial number is not as visible there. I used a cotton bud with a bit of isoprop. Now, I've given that a really good going over. I'll just zoom in a bit. You can still see it, but I quite like the way it's very subtle. It looks like it's been written in a similar sort of colour ink to the background here as a result of that, so it doesn't sort of stand out and slap you in the face, as it did previously. So yeah, that's worked out really well. I suspect if you did the same sort of thing on the white and the red, it's not going to work quite as well. It might leave a bit of a bluey sort of looking ink there. Yeah, not really sure what kind of ink they must have used for that. That label's not quite straight, it just needs a bit of manipulation there. Actually, it's not too bad. But yeah, anyway, it's come out really, really well. These little marks that were on this side haven't quite come off. I might, if I dare, try and use a bit of plastic polish just lightly on there to see if those come off. It does look like it's some sort of cleaning stuff or something. One of these have just come out of the mould that's perhaps got stuck on. This is a C64E, by the way. I found out when I was inside there, just to confirm that. So yeah, I've got the little feet on there, so I'll stick the serial on there later. I think I can't be bothered doing that just now. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Really pleased with it. It's pretty sweet. I will do a follow-on when I get the new keys, so you can what the keys look like on this one, and obviously then you can see what the transparent one looks like with the bread bin in it when I've got the full set for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.